To me, it seems as if those on the far right and the far left in sort of Western political discourse want to sort of attempt to justify the invasion of Ukraine.
Yes.
From two sort of angles, and they're completely different. But for the left, I think it's their sort of general hostility to this idea of NATO expanding and it being a passively warmongering sort of organisation that, while its intentions are good, it aggravates a country like Russia, particularly with a neighbour such as Ukraine, who may be seeking to join that organisation. And for the far left, they'll say, well, this is why, Ukraine's been invaded. It's NATO's expansion.
Well, they said that. They said we refute the idea that NATO is a defensive alliance. That's what they said in the letter. But they weren't in favour of the invasion of Ukraine, but they were. Or maybe they were, actually. I need to check the timings. But that fits your analysis perfectly, doesn't it? They wrote, we refute the idea that NATO is a defensive alliance, as of course does Vladimir Putin.
Sure, and I think that sits in with a sort of general position taken by those on the far left that, war is something to be avoided at all cost, and, Western governments shouldn't be sticking their oars in other parts of the world. And that sort of general narrative, and I think that's why they're seeking to justify.
And sometimes that's true. Some wars are mistakes, retrospectively. Some wars never should have been undertaken. But you're talking about an extremist position that's opposed to all of them.
That's right. And then jumping to the other side of the sort of political spectrum, to the far right.
Yeah, which is, I think, for me, more mysterious, to be honest with you.
I think it is, and arguably more ludicrous. And that's they're sort of saying, well, it's the erosion of Western cultural norms that have taken place in recent times in places like Britain and America, and that's just perceived as weakness by the Russians, and that's why they've invaded, because they think it's an optimum time. The West is running around in circles.
Tell me what you mean by cultural norms. What are these people upset or frightened or cross about?
Well, it's the same people that want to, call the government the thought police, or people that don't think expanding and improving, rights and opportunities for underrepresented groups and expansion of LGBTQ rights and sort of championing.
Which fits with what Steve Bannon was saying, doesn't it? And so it is people who think that the attempts to protect minorities from persecution are a problem. That's who we're talking about now. And because Vladimir Putin's a big fan of persecuting minorities, people in Britain who resent attempts to stop the persecution of minorities are big fans of Vladimir Putin. That's actually quite straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, that's sort of where I've got to with it. Yeah. But I guess there's different shades, but I think that those might be the justifications.
So we like Vladimir Putin because he hates gays and ethnics?
Well, I mean... yeah, that's a very, very blunt way of putting it. But I think when you get down to the, they see these sort of developments and these improvements in the West as actually a sign of
and then we're back to the question of what does woke actually mean, and what are these people really frightened of? And that fits perfectly with your analysis. I like that. That's a sparkling debut, Al.
Oh, thank you very much, James.
No dog's breakfast. No dog's breakfast in sight. No dogs, not even a Rice Krispie.